Hi, we're Harriet and Mauro, and for the last 3 years we've been renovating our little stone cottage, growing our own food and accumulating animals here in the hills of eastern Spain. We recently finished some major upgrades to our kitchen, including getting an oven installed and finally some proper lighting, which brings one of our biggest projects so far to an end, almost. We've recently been jumping through the final hurdles in the process of purchasing some new land, and our next major job is going to involve that new plot, so we told ourselves we didn't want to start anything else major at this point. As it happens, we did actually find ourselves working on creating an enormous chicken and duck food forest lately, but that aside, we're trying really hard not to start anything new, so we figured it was a good time to finish off 3 projects which have lain abandoned for variably embarrassing amounts of time. I hope you enjoy this episode and find it as satisfying as I do to see these projects finished. Looks like we've got a bit of a job for the mini chainsaw back here. Okay, I've got one piece left, so I'm guessing that was supposed to go here. If I just shuffle all of these along a little bit, it'll probably fit on the end. So my plan with this roof was to fix it on first with these little brackets that we actually picked up in a car boot sale. I think that'll be perfect for this job, and then once it's all fixed, figure out what I want to cut off the back, which is overhanging quite a lot. Okay, the roof is on. I just used up the last of the brackets as well, so that was perfect, although I've still got this piece that I need to cut down. Got a whole box of mismatched brackets. I'm pretty happy with that. It feels really good to use up materials that have been lying around for ages. Although it's hard to believe it in this weather, it won't be that long before we're lighting our first fire, and it will definitely be good to have our wood all nice and dry this year, which it definitely wasn't last year. The next thing and the last thing that I'm going to do is put this roofing felt material over the top. What I don't know is if the material is actually still in good condition after being lying around out here in the sun for well over a year. It's still quite flexible. Probably it'll be fine. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, this roof. Oh look, it's the job inspector.
It's great. It's like we've been missing this for 2 years.
Yeah, I know. You'll appreciate all the nice fires with dry wood this winter.
Bonk.
What are you doing? I forgot this thing was so heavy. Can't move it. clearly I only bought enough for this one section. There's half of the roll and there's the other half there. Oh well, at least we get to try it out and see if we like it. I'll probably buy some more for the remaining section, but yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm going to use this waterproof for stuff. I don't think it's technically necessary, especially not for something that's just like a wood store, but since some parts of this roofing felt material, not this part, that looks fine, but since some parts of it are a little bit damaged on the back just because of how long it's been left out in the sun, I don't think it'll hurt to use some of this waterproofing tar stuff. So let's do that. There we go, that's the top all painted. That was so fun. This stuff has a really nice consistency. It's like, I don't know, melted chocolate or something. It goes on really quickly and it's just a really, really nice fun job. Oh dear. Okay, that's the second part of the roof done as well. I know, I could have used a roller, but I was just having too much fun with the paintbrush and it was going really quickly anyway. Now I just have to wrangle the rest of the roofing felt onto the top of the first section. What is it with dogs and new surfaces to lie on? It's so hot up here, I feel like I actually burnt my hand just by leaning for too long on the belt. I hope it doesn't melt. Got another roll of this stuff. It's even heavier than the first roll. Mind your feet. Stupid little scissors. Oh, that's so much better. No, I should have gone around the other side. Push. Right, let's go. I was having trouble getting the nails in under here last time where we've got this overhang and I can't like hammer up, and then I remembered that I've got a new stapler which takes like a million different kinds of staples including nails, but I don't actually have any of those, but I do have these little hook ones which I think will do the job. Hopefully I can just get this up under here. Oh yeah, that fits perfectly. Okay, I've just got to go around nailing on the edges of the new sheets of asphalt on the second section of roof and then we're done. Yeah, I'm a bit annoyed about the wrinkly part over there. Can you see?
Yeah, but who cares?
So this stuff you're meant to like blowtorch it on.
Like
I
that
don't know,
material.
like you blowtorch it and it like gets sticky
Yeah,
and that's how you're supposed to put it on, but...
It feels wrong to blowtorch something so close to
a pile of wood.
a pile of wood.
Well, you have to be like on the roof and you have to like blowtorch it and like roll it out as you do it. It's just you can't do it.
I think for our purposes and for how much it rains here, I don't think it will make a difference.
No. I'm annoyed about the wrinkly part because, like, obviously that would have got the wrinkles out, but I think
Yeah, but
maybe, but it doesn't matter. I can't see the roof anyway. I
yeah,
can see under it.
Like nobody's
You
gonna
can
see it.
I can't see
I can
it.
barely see it. So it's great.
I should have paid more attention to how pretty it looks under this side because that's the view I get.
Well, the wood is gonna be nice and cozy over the winter.
Cozy. Good morning. It's a nice cool day today, well, relatively speaking, and I think it's a good day to do a little bit of painting on the outside of the house. As you might have seen in our last video, we rendered this maybe about a week or two ago now. Just been waiting for the right day to paint it, and I think today is that day. Before I began painting the front of the house, there were a few things I needed to finish with the rainwater catchment. Firstly, I added gravel to the bottom of the barrel to raise the level of the water to the level of the tap and avoid the problem of stagnant water sitting in the bottom. Thank you for suggesting that in the comments. I love the idea and never would have thought of it myself. Secondly, I needed to secure the joints of the pipe, which I simply hadn't got round to before. Then finally, I needed to put an overflow hole in the barrel. I was initially planning to drill a hole in the lid, but at the last moment I had second thoughts, and I don't really know why, but instinct was telling me it was better to drill an overflow hole in the barrel itself, so that's what I did. I used super glue to stick a little bit of mosquito netting across the hole to stop mozzies getting in the barrel. I don't know how it will hold up, but I had to try something, so we'll see how it works. Maybe I'll actually fix an overflow pipe in here in the future. We'll see how it goes. With those little jobs done, it was time to start on the painting. Actually, I'm going to be fixing up the whole of the front of the house. I'm going to do something with this little bench because I don't really like the tiles that are on it and I think it could be a lot nicer. Clear up all the mess, maybe get some nice plants along here. Fix this situation. Hopefully it's going to be really beautiful out here by the end. I'm pretty proud actually that this is my only drip on the windowsill. Look, Mummy did all this. Look, and this. This wall makes the rest of the house look so yellow. Next up, I tried to make these little benches look a bit nicer. I was planning to cover the old terrazzo tiles with brown ones, but I wanted to see first whether by just painting and cleaning them up a bit they might look alright and I could save myself a job, which, let's be honest, was far from a priority at this point in time. They actually cleaned up quite nicely and I decided to leave them as they were, and then there were just a few final touches left to do. So pretty! This car! Gonna plant some flowers. I tried my best, but I don't think this guy's gonna make it. Maybe I'll give you one more chance. This one's okay though. Any ideas what this is? I found it on the track. Mauro thinks it's cursed. He might be right. Okay, it's just you left. Do you deserve one more chance? Okay, so this might not seem like an abandoned project to you because you haven't seen the beginning of it, but this is in fact a project from, I think, back in June. I was last working on this. I didn't show you because I thought you'd probably seen enough of me building raised beds. I'd built quite a lot in a short amount of time back then, and I started this one, which is raised bed, I don't know what number, 6 now maybe. As you can see, it's been left a little bit abandoned. The wall is not done, it's not filled. There used to be a little wildlife pond in this spot, which I dug a few years ago. When we had all the trouble with the water recently and our main deposit emptied, I took this pond out as well because it just didn't seem to make sense to maintain a pond when we're so short on water. Now we have the ducks, I do want to build another pond in the new duck enclosure, the big food forest that we're building for them. So that was another reason to get rid of this pond here. I'm going for a very organic design shape here that kind of snakes its way around this little area where we've got a few trees growing. I think I want to take it all the way behind the back of this palm tree here, all the way back round there, and you can see we've got the wood store just over there with its nice new roof on, a big pile of wood that needs processing, and we've got a false acacia just growing up here in front of the wood store. A lovely huge pot of aloe vera, which needs a little bit of a tidy up. And I can't decide whether to bring this raised bed all the way around this corner, move this pot out the way, and bring it up all the way over to basically this side of the access path to the wood store. I will obviously have to move a lot of stuff out the way if I want to do that. Or whether to just sort of finish it here in front of this palm. There is a lot of stuff that we need to tidy up in this area. We've still got the remains of our old outdoor shower where we used to shower in a bag hung from this olive tree before we had an actual hot shower. Anyway, I'm going to get started and just see where I end up. As you can see, I've got plenty of rocks for this project. That is something I have been doing over the last few months, still collecting them. Okay, we've got the shape defined now. I've decided to stop in front of the false acacia tree because I think that's plenty big enough. Look at this amazing, very rectangular square stone that we've got here. There's going to be like an amazing use for this somewhere. I'm not quite sure what it is, but when we find the use for it, this is going to be perfect for something. I'm quite pleased with that. It's going quite quickly. I've had the camera pointed at the ugly side of the wall, the inside that no one's going to see because it's going to be filled with soil, but it is looking quite a lot nicer on the outside. I think probably just one more day to finish it, and then it's going to take a lot of soil to fill because it's quite high. I was trying to match the height of the stone bank at the back, and I have realised actually just looking behind me that I'm going to have the exact same problem that I had in the last raised bed that I made, where I built it right in the path of a shortcut that Una always uses to get from one place to another. Well, the exact same thing is going to be the case here. I can just tell she's going to jump over that bed and over that bank and ruin any plants that are planted in here. So once again, I'm going to have to erect some sort of Una fence along the back of this. What I really want to plant in here are carrots, actually. I've never had a lot of success with carrots, I think because our ground in our main garden is really compacted, and I probably didn't loosen it and improve it enough before I planted them. I did get some out, but it's never been very successful. This area is nice and shaded, and if I have a nice high bed that I've added a lot of loose, fresh material to, hopefully this will be the first time that I can actually grow carrots successfully, so I'm really hoping for that. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there for today, have a think about this Una fence, and come back to it tomorrow.
The light, let's wait for the light, and we're there. Good morning. Yeah, so this morning's request is a fresh wheelbarrow of donkey manure. So we're gonna go get that. It's starting to be a bit chilly in the mornings, which makes doing the chores a lot nicer, at least for me. What if I do this? Will that work? Oh, that's a cool shot. Maybe put some music for the noise. A box full of carrots. Oh, let's go. Here you go. I think we have enough carrots for a year. And like, look at all the mushrooms that have been growing in the manure. And I think, and also, look at that guy. Look at that little guy, that's my favorite thing. That is a carob seedling. One more there. But yeah, that's the advantage of feeding the donkey carobs, is that they go through his system, the seeds, and then when he pulls them out, they're like just surrounded by really good manure. So I think it's a good way of... that seedling, I think it's ready to be picked up and put in a pot. But yeah, I want to see if I can grow more trees like that. What a good boy. What a good boy.
What do you want, carob? Oh wow, this thing is nearly full.
Put a bunch in there.
I'm gonna need more carob storage. There's what, 6 all this year's, or this is like what was left from last year plus?
No,
extra?
it's empty. It's
It's
empty.
empty.
Like,
This is all from this year. Wow.
yeah, all the bags, all that stuff.
Wow. Look at that, Santi. Doesn't that look good?
Fresh delivery.
Thank you.
Where do you want it?
In my raised bed.
That's not a lot.
No, yeah, well, like 5 more wheelbarrows like that, please. You need an actual bath. Look at you. This is your own fault, Poppy. Okay, the palm has gone. It was long gone. It was totally rotten. You can barely even tell where it was now. There's just little traces of this weird palm bark material. I've got quite a big space here now to do something with. There's the raised bed just behind. Got a pile of mulch, which will be useful somewhere, and a big pile of this horrible spiky palm material, which is really horrible to deal with. I wish we just had a chipper for this because it's spiky, it's horrible to pick up, touch, and there's loads of it here. Still not sure what to do about the Una wall, so I'm still thinking about that. As you can see, definitely needed. Okay, we've got a few little things just to finish this project off, just a few rocks to finish off the walls, some plants to get started, and they're going to pop some substrate just on the top of all the donkey manure and chicken manure, just to have something that's actually fully composted on the top. Okay, it's done. Now the fun bit. So I've decided not to plant carrots in this bed just yet because a lot of the manure, the chicken and the donkey manure is pretty fresh still, so probably not ideal for root vegetables, but just to get started and have something, I did buy a few more purple cabbages and some endivia. It's like a frilly kind of lettuce. Okay, there we go. I've just planted a tiny section because this is actually a really big bed and I don't have a hose pipe long enough to get here at the moment, so we're using watering cans. Anyway, I'm glad it's done. We will see how this Una wall works. Found this amazing pot which has been lying around the property for years and it is broken, but I think I can still use it, so I will look forward to planting in that at some point, if this wall works and this situation stays. Okay, I think that's it for this video. Thank you for watching and let me know if you enjoyed seeing these projects finished. Doing this video was a really good push for me to get these things finished that have been sitting around unfinished for a really long time. If you would like to see another video in this style, let me know. I can definitely find more projects that need finishing. Thank you for watching and see you next time.